Enemies rustling this way. Careless enemies making noise this way. Strange sounds this way. Careful, fly fighters. Listen. Enemies roam that way. Sounds of careless enemies that way. Take heed. I hear Anscotti that way. Sounds of Anscotti this way. Enemies forage this way. I hear them. Anscotti stalk this way. Anscotti migrates that way. Enemy sounds that way. Egypt. I hear Anscotti that way. Tread carefully.
Think I hear an enemy this way. Think I hear an enemy this way. Trust Gibraltar's gut and ears. I think I hear enemy activity this way. Think I hear enemy activity this way. Think I smell them too. Stay alert. I hear bad guys this way. Think I hear enemy activity that way. Yeah, Gibraltar hears enemy activity that way. Whoa, we might have enemy sounds that way. I think I hear an enemy this way. I maybe heard an enemy this way. Could be enemy activity this way. I think I hear an enemy that way. Could be an enemy that way. Got a feeling there's trouble that way.
Just me? Or the rest yous hear enemies this way? Kia matara. Might have heard enemies this way. Heard something over here. Maybe some eggs looking to get beat. You hear that over there? Sounds like eggs to me. Thinking I hear enemies over that way. Think I hear some dogs over there. Keep your wits. Think I hear enemies this way. Ace. Might have heard an enemy this way. Reckon I heard an enemy around here. Think I hear an enemy that way. Might hear an egg over there. Reckon I hear an enemy that way.
I hear targets this way, and I have 20/20 hearing, so... What? I hear targets this way, and I have 20/20 hearing, so... Wait, that's for touch, right? Or taste? Dang it. Got enemies this way. Bad guys making noises here. Gotta be bad guys making noises here, because, ghosts aren't real, right? Are they? Tell me they're not. Gotta be bad guys making noises here, because... Well, ghosts aren't real, are they? Are they? I hear bad guys that way. Could be talking about me. Good things, I hope. I hear bad guys that way. Wonder if they're talking about me. Hopefully it's good things. Bad guys making noise that way. Eavesdropping is a skill, people. Bad guys making noise that way. Eavesdropping is a skill, I'll have you know. I hear targets that way. It's like they want to be heard. Wait, do they? Got bad people noises this way. I hear enemies over here. Targets making noise here. Got bad people noises this way. Bad people. It's bad people. This way. Got bad people noises this way. Like people who are bad making noises. This way. Sounds like targets that way. Bad guys horsing around there. I hear hostiles that way, folks.
I detect enemy sounds that way. Hostiles are making noise this way. Maybe. Uh-oh. I hear enemy activity this way. Picking up noise here. Could be hostiles, friends. Hostile noises coming from over there. Over there. I hear hostiles. Or a prowler wearing boots. Detecting enemy sound waves this way. Possible hostiles making sounds this way. Oh dear. Sounds of targets this way. Sounds of enemies detected that way. Picking up hostile noises that way. Friends, I hear an enemy that way.
Think I hear enemies there. Too bad it's not their screams. I think I hear skin suits nearby. I hear enemies over here. Think I hear enemies nearby. You hear that? We might have company. I hear something. Watch for enemies over there. Listen, enemies over here. Sounds like enemies here. Sounds like skin suits nearby. Think I hear enemies that way. Sounds like enemies there. Think I hear skin suits over there.
I hear enemy activity that way. Sounds indicate there are enemies this way. There are sounds of enemy activity this way. Be aware. I hear subjects in this direction. I hear subjects in that direction. I suspect there are subjects that way. This way. Sounds of our enemies. I hear a target this way. Subject in earshot. This way. I hear subjects that way. That way. I hear targets. Listen. I hear enemies that way.
Hostiles are making some noise over there. Heard someone this way. Move with caution. Hearing hostiles in this direction. Tango's this way making some noise. Stay alert. I hear enemy activity that way. Hear that? Hostiles that way. I hear tangos this way. Heard someone this way. Got enemies in earshot. This way. I hear enemies that way. Got tangos in earshot that way. Hostiles making noise that way.
I hear enemy activity that way. Foraging or fighting? Watch it. I hear enemy activity near here. Targets this way. Flyers make less noise. Hear that? Prey nearby. Picking up on prey activity over there. Hear that, Echo? Enemy activity over there. I hear prey. They're close. Prey movement this way. Stay low. I hear prey nearby. There. I hear targets. I hear prey over there. Prey are making a lot of noise there.
I detect enemy noise that way. Pathetic. Sounds detected near me. Possible targets. Quiet. I hear targets stirring this way. Listen and you would hear enemies. This way. Enemy noise out there. gave up their position. I hear enemies that way. They beg a final lesson. Enemy sounds detected. This way. I hear inept enemies this way. Targets making noise this way. Enemy sounds from that direction. Audible enemy clatter. Far. Detecting enemy sounds that way.
I think there's enemy activity this way. Oh dear dearies. Could be an enemy this way. I may have detected an numpty this way. Lend me your ears, dears. I think there's enemy activity this way. Reckon I hear an enemy that way. I hear suspicious activity that way. Keep your ears peeled for numpties that way, pals. Could be an enemy this way, pals. I think I heard a wee numpty this way. I think I hear enemy activity this way. I think I hear an enemy that way. I think I hear a numpty that way. Reckon there might be enemy activity that way.
I think I hear some busters this way. Watch it. I hear a buster this way. Enemy activity this way. Stay on your toes. I hear some fools that way. I think I hear enemy activity that way. In my good ear, at least. Careful. Enemy activity that way. I hear an enemy this way. Close. Head on a swivel. I hear an enemy here. I think I hear an enemy this way, y'all. Watch your back. I hear an enemy that way. Ready up. I hear an enemy that way. Heads up. Enemy that way.
I can hear some fools nearby. Don't get your knickers in a twist. I think I hear enemies this way. If I'm wrong, you can kill me. I hear enemies this way, I think. Might be a gas. Listen. Sound a git somewhere out there. Some fools making noise that way. Baddies there. Bunch of elephants making a ruckus. Careful, I hear plonkers nearby. Fools are here. I hear them. Yo, I hear a baddie over here. I hear some plonkers over there. Watch it, I hear an enemy that way. I think I hear a fool that way.
Oi, hear that? Might be an enemy this way. Do I hear a drongo over here? Mind yourself. I hear something. Reckon we've got jokers this way. Reckon I hear some clowns over yonder. Hear that? Could be a drongo that way. Listen, sounds like we got a joker that way. Reckon I heard enemies this way. Pretty sure I heard drongos this way. Sounds like we got jokers this way. Reckon I hear an enemy that way. Hear a joker that way, I reckon. Think I hear a drongo that way.
Enemies making noise here, giving away their position. I hear enemies here. 서툰 것들. Do you hear that? Enemies could be close. Sounds like one of them's that way. Enemy making noise over there. I hear them. Over there. 조심해. Picking up an enemy sound here. I hear one of them close. Enemy noise coming from here. Enemy sound that way. I hear an enemy over there. Sounds like an enemy there.
I think I hear enemy activity this way. Attention, I suspect hooligans this way. We may have active foes this way, companions. I believe I hear a hooligan that way. I think I hear enemy activity that way. I believe we have foes in that direction. I think I hear an enemy this way. I suspect I hear an enemy this way. We may have foes this way. I think I hear an enemy that way. I believe I hear a foe that way. I suspect we have hooligan activity that way.
I hear enemy activity this way. Be mindful. Careful. It sounds like an enemy's nearby. I hear an adversary nearby. Listen. I hear enemy activity that way. Hear that? Sounds like there's an enemy in the distance. I think I hear an enemy. That way. Far. I hear enemies here. I hear an enemy this way. I hear an enemy nearby. Careful. I hear an enemy that way. I hear an enemy out that way. Ready yourselves. Enemy that way.
Hear that? Enemies could be over here. Listen up. Think I hear hostiles this way. Sounds like we got enemies this way. Open your ears. I hear hostiles that way. Could be enemies making a ruckus that way. Watch yourself. Think I hear targets that way. Maybe hostiles this way. Making noise. Could be targets this way. Think I hear enemies this way. Hear that? Enemies could be that way. You hear that? Enemies that way. Think I'm hearing enemies that way.
Careful now. Hearing enemy activity this way. Watch out for enemies this way. Listen. There might be enemies this way. Careful, beautiful. I hear enemies that way. Listen. Could be enemies that way. I hear enemy activity over there. I hear enemies close by. I think I hear an enemy this way. Hearing enemies this way. I hear an enemy that way. Hearing enemies in that direction. I think I hear an enemy that way.
I hear an antagonist this way. Listen. Rivals moving over here. I can hear enemy activity this way. I hear the percussion of rivals that way. Such tonality. Do you hear it? Antagonist sounds that way. Enemy sounds that way, my friend. I hear rivals this way. Antagonists creating noise here. Sounds of enemies here. Rival sounds that way. I hear antagonists over there. Enemies making sounds that way.
Hear that? Think there's an enemy this way. I'm hearing enemy activity this way. Just so you know. Think I hear a bandit this way. Focus up. I hear an enemy out there somewhere. On your toes, folks. I'm hearing a bogey that way. Be cool. I hear enemy activity that way. Think I hear an enemy this way. Yo, got an enemy this way. Hearing an enemy over here. Sounds like an enemy that way. Listen up. I'm hearing enemy activity out there. Hearing an enemy that way.
Zut, I think I hear an enemy this way. I think I hear an enemy this way. Be alert. I think I heard an enemy this way. I think I hear an enemy that way. We should be careful. I think there's an enemy that way. I suspect enemy activity that way. I think I hear an enemy that way. Do not let them get the jump on us. Listen, I think I hear an enemy this way. I believe I heard an enemy this way. I think there's an enemy this way. I think I hear an enemy that way. Oui, there could be an enemy that way. I think I hear an enemy that way.
I think I hear enemy activity this way. Stay alert. There might be enemy activity this way. Watch out. I hear enemy activity this way. Not sure. I think I hear an enemy that way. Sounds like enemy activity. Far off. Sounds like enemy activity that way. I hear an enemy this way. Enemy this way. I think I hear an enemy this way. I think I hear an enemy that way. Watch out. I hear an enemy that way. Careful. I think I hear an enemy that way.
Don't look now, but I think I hear bad guys this way. Yo, think I hear enemies this way. Think we got a problem. And it's making noise this way. Yo, think I hear enemies this way. And it's not just the ringing in my ears. Think I hear enemies that way. Something tells me there's bad dudes that way. Think a baddie's making noise that way. Hear bad dudes this way. Yo, I hear enemies this way. I think I hear bad guys this way. Hear bad dudes that way. Yo, I hear enemies that way. I think I hear an enemy that way.